What's up, guys? Back at it again. It's your boy, Sean. Yeah, we had last week, which just happened, and it was a slow week. Not much really going on. I took two trades. They both happened on Monday, I believe, and they were both losers. Yeah, one of them was a bad trade, though, so it's kind of my fault. So I lost 2R last week. You know how it is with trading. You make a big gain and you always got to give some back. But I really should have only lost one. I took a Swissy trade and a cable trade, and the cable trade was just a bad trade. And it happens, but it's okay. We're gonna do better this week. Other than that, not much going on. We had the 4th of July bank holiday on Friday, so just an overall really slow week. Nothing really set up. I was waiting for a few things, but didn't really see anything happen. So didn't really have a chance to make anything back. But we'll see what happens this week moving forward. I guess this week I really just wanted to give a big shout out to my boy Vishal over there in the UK. I believe he's in London or just outside of London or something like that. Big shout out to him. He's been my trading partner for the last 3 years. I mean, we share all of our ideas basically. Anytime I have an idea of something, I share it with him and vice versa. We've really just kind of been in this game together and learning together. And I just really wanted to talk about the importance of having a trading partner. If you don't have one, or a trading buddy, if you don't have one, I would highly, 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 highly recommend you try and find somebody. You try and find somebody who shares your mindset, shares your level of drive, shares your level of commitment to trading, because it'll just make this whole game so much easier. I've met Vishal in we were part of this mentorship group back in the day, and we never ended up really using that guy's strategy, but me and Vishal talked and kind of hit it off, and we just kept talking, and eventually we just started working together and sharing all of our ideas with each other. And anytime we would learn something new or whatever, we would share it with each other. And actually, the strategy that first got me profitable wasn't even my idea. It was actually his idea that he shared with me, and we just worked together to improve the initial idea. So from what it was then to what it is now is a little bit different. We worked on it and improved it together, but it was actually his idea. So I think it's just very important. It can really create a good synergy if you have somebody that can kind of work with you. They can fill in where you may have weaknesses, and you can fill in where they may have weaknesses, and vice versa. So for example, me and Vishal, he's really got a lot of ideas, a lot of really creative ideas, actually, things I wouldn't think of necessarily, different ways of approaching or looking at the market, different ideas or different little edges he notices or whatever. And, he shares a lot of those with me. And I think where I kind of come in and contribute is I have a very systematic way of looking at things, a very logical, okay, let's take this step by step, and so what ends up typically happening is he'll have an idea, and he'll kind of shoot it over to me, or something that he's been working on his own, and he's like, hey man, I've been working on this, and I think I may have some edge or whatever, and he'll kind of shoot it over to me, and I'll kind of double check it, I'll look at it, I'll kind of make my own observations from it and share back with him as well. And lately he's just kind of been sending me some ideas, and I went ahead and I learned how to code. So what I would do is I would then code a version of his idea into an algorithm, and then just instantly just back test it over however many years, 15 years, over however many currencies or whatever. And we would get some results, and we were able to learn a lot of things about trading that way as well. I think I'm also a lot more risk averse than he is, so I'm always kind of trying to encourage him to, put some risk on, and grab your nuts and let's just go. So I think that's kind of helped him, and he's actually just recently gone full time with trading, so he's really kind of taking that whole grabbing your nuts and going. I guess he just ran with it, so that's good. But yeah, this game can be extremely tough mentally, and it's also really good to just have somebody who you can talk to about those things, somebody who you can share, how you made the same mistake for the fifth time in a row, and you can just bitch, or you can laugh about the markets, and the market does something crazy, and you can just like, oh my god, chalk it up, or laugh about it, or have somebody to just talk about it with, and that can be really helpful mentally to deal with like the swings of trading, because you can have friends and family, but trust me, they are not going to understand. Most people don't even know what the heck you're going to be talking about. Nonetheless, it just sounds crazy if you make the same mistake, because when you say it out loud, logically, it just sounds ridiculous that you did this and you shouldn't have did this, but you did it anyways. But they won't get it like another trader will get it, because once you're in the position and you know how it actually is, it's just like you can relate to it a lot more, and you can be a lot more sympathetic to somebody who's going through the same thing. So it's really good emotionally, and I think it's just really helpful to have that companion, and just sharing the journey with somebody. If you have somebody who you can really share the journey with, and grow together, and eventually, hopefully, ideally, both become professional traders together, or whatever the goal may be, to just be consistently profitable, make money, whatever it is. Just have somebody to share that journey with, and it's just really good. So I would highly encourage you guys to go out and network and find somebody who you can share the journey with, somebody who kind of matches your ideas or beliefs, or somebody you just click with, or whatever. Highly recommend it. Big shout out to Vishal. What's up, man? I know you're kind of checking in on these videos from time to time, so I just wanted to say that. But anyways, yeah, like I said, I took 2 trades this week. One in Swissy, one in Cable. Swissy was okay. Cable was a bad trade. Let me show you guys the trades, so that way we can just keep everybody updated. All right, so the first trade I had was in this Swissy here. At the time, it was like this. We had this range. I'll just highlight it for you guys so you can see this range here. You see the high and the low, pretty clear range. And we broke down through the bottom end of the range there and closed through the high of this candle here. So I thought we were going to come down and take the low of this candle. But as it turns out, price immediately pulled back, retraced, balanced on the level, and then put in this bullish engulfing here, right? And got back above this level. So I thought now we'd be primed to go long to take the other side of the range. When you drop down to the hourly, so I was looking at like these highs, this high here, and you can see came in, we got the bounce, and it started to push up, and then very, very quickly reversed down. So took a 1 hour loss on that. Normally I would move my stop up under here, but I actually used this price action to get in. So when this started happening, my stop was already here originally. So once it did that, it was just over. So that was Swissy, and looking back on it, it's really I just kind of bought right back in the middle of the range, and I talked about this kind of before, of just buying or selling right in the middle of the range, and it's just so choppy in there. I really should have waited for it to break. Once it broke down through this extreme, I should have tried to short. If I didn't get the short, maybe I should have got on long. Once it broke this side of the high range or whatever, buying in the middle of these things just has gotten me chopped up a few times now. But anyways, so that was Swissy. Then we get this Cable trade, which is not a good trade. But anyway, so let's start with the weekly, and I'll tell you my thought process, and I'll tell you why it was such a bad trade. But anyways, so we have this like weekly shooting star here, which the location is not like the best. Obviously, like if we had a shooting star like at the top here, right off this like support and resistance, that's your ideal spot. This is just kind of like in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, it's rejecting off like this, like there's like some resistance here and a little bit of support with this candle, but it's not much, right?
So yeah, but anyways, that was the start of my logic. Then really, I didn't have a daily bias or anything. It's just really just it broke down through this key daily low, and I just decided to try and sell a retest here of that level. And when I don't have a daily bias, I said I was going to wait for price action on those sort of trades. And um, when you look at it, it breaks down and there's no price action. It just rips straight through. But I decided to sell it there anyways on a retest, and it just basically just ripped me up. That daily level also happened to line up with the head of the hammer, which I normally trade. The break and retest of the head of the hammer, but it lined up with that, and you can just see it just kind of created that little trap. False broke down and just ripped back up. But again, the weekly bias was weak because it was just kind of in the middle of nowhere. This shooting star, and then there was no daily bias to tell me to enter short aggressively, and then I didn't wait for price action. So I kind of broke all three rules, and then also with the daily biases as well. I'm noticing that the time frame's just kind of too far out, and to really make a decision on the hourly chart or whatever, like it could easily rip up to my stop before playing out this daily bias. So, really, I mean, weekly bias. So, really, I think, the daily chart is just king. I just need to really focus most of my attention on the daily chart. That's just kind of what has been turning around my trading. So, I just need to make sure I stick with that. So, yeah. So, here's an updated shot of my equity curve. Number 13 is, again, where we made the changes. So, you can see we had that nice week and then gave back a little bit. So hopefully we don't continue to get back too much and we can continue making moves higher this week. But let's just see how it happens. We didn't get back too much, but we did get back some. So yeah, let's just see how it goes.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching this week. Hopefully, we have a lot more active of a week this week coming up. We have a nice full week, and last week was super slow, so maybe we'll get some movement this week. I have a couple ideas already that I kind of want to hit right off the right off the open. So let's see what we get. I'll see you guys next week.